What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another video. Today, I'm gonna do some March Madness analysis. Of course, in March Madness, we're at the Sweet 16 right now. I didn't make one before the tournament just because there was a lot of matchups, and really, I didn't get a grasp of all the teams that were in it. So as it went on, now we're in the Sweet 16. I kind of got a little bit of the grasp of it. But let's take a look at it and let's analyze it and let's probably make some predictions. So the first matchup up, Texas at Purdue. This game is going to be in San Jose. Texas, they've been a little bit, they've been on a winning streak a little bit. They started in the play-in tournament when they beat NC State. They've won a lot of close games as well. They beat BYU by 8. They beat Gonzaga by 6. But they are playing some good basketball right now. Then you got the Purdue Boilermakers, who've been playing good basketball really all season, and they've been doing a pretty good job in the tournament so far. They beat a very good Miami team. I think before the tournament, I probably predicted the worst Final Four you can predict. I had Duke versus Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt had a tough loss, by the way. I mean, on a half court shot, it rimmed out. I don't know how it rimmed out like that, but a tough loss for Vanderbilt. And then on the other side of the region, I had Georgia, who just got obliterated in the first round. I mean, I don't even know what to say, when it comes to Georgia. I mean, they're a football program. So that's the one thing that I learned against Purdue, actually. So, Purdue, they're holding up their end, moving on to the Sweet 16. Their starting guard, CJ Cox, did hyperextend his knee in the last game against Miami. So we'll see if he plays or not. I'm going to say he's going to give it a go just because it's March Madness. So, um, I'm going to stick with Purdue. I feel good about Purdue winning this game. You got to give a lot of credit to Texas. They have been playing some good basketball, but I think Purdue is the better team, so I think they'll win this. Next matchup up, we got a battle of the Midwest, a battle of the corn, if you will. You got Iowa versus Nebraska. Iowa, how about them? I mean, they just upset in number one Florida, the defending champs, which was a wild game. I was surprised by that because, I had Iowa beat Clemson, and they had a very ugly win. I mean, a win nonetheless, but it wasn't all that impressive. Kind of let Clemson hang around, and they were just on fire against Florida. I mean, that's probably as best as you can get from Iowa. I mean, just upsetted Florida with Alvaro Folgaris. I think that's his name, with the game-winning three-point shot. That was just dead on, dude. I mean, what a huge shot by Alvaro right there. So these two teams did play, twice during the season. Iowa did win the first matchup against Nebraska by 5 at home, and then Nebraska got the back at their home court. So now it's a neutral site. Very tough game to predict. Nebraska, they've been playing good offensively the past 2 games, scoring over 70 points. So really, you're gonna have like the offense of Nebraska against Iowa. This is a tough game to predict, but I'm gonna take a chance and go with Nebraska just because I think they've looked a little better the last 2 games than Iowa, and that's kind of weird to say because Iowa did beat Florida, but I think Iowa just had a huge shooting night that night, and I think Nebraska has a more balanced style of play. So I'll go with Nebraska to win there, and this game is gonna be at Houston at the Toyota Center. So next game up, we got the Arkansas Razorbacks going up against the Arizona Wildcats, U of A. And we all know about Arkansas. You have Calipari, who is the big name. Of course, the guard, Darius Acuff. I mean, he's a baller. Probably going to be a top 5 pick in the draft. He's been balling this tournament. Arkansas, a very offensive heavy team. Doesn't play a whole lot of defense. Then you got U of A, who has just a bunch of size. They've won 11 in a row. Just put away Utah State. Excuse me. Arizona probably has the best backcourt in the country, and like I said, they have plenty of size down below. Um, I mean, really, U of A is a more balanced team, but like I said, Arkansas, I mean, they're kind of a offensive juggernaut. I mean, they can hit shots from anywhere, but they don't defend very well. Their past two games have been really high scoring, scoring over 90 points. Then you got Arizona with a more balanced style of play. The thing with Arizona is when they played Utah State, they kind of let Utah State hang around. Utah State was kind of giving them some trouble. Um, I think Arkansas can provide the same trouble to U of A as Utah State did. But to win March Madness, you got to defend and you got to rebound, which I think Arizona they do both better than Arkansas. So as much as I would love to pick Arkansas in the upset, and I think I did before the tournament, I just think Arizona they're a more balanced team. I think that they just like they can match firepower with Arkansas, but they're a better defensive team and a better rebounding team. So I'll go with U of A to win that game. And then the next, we got a huge game. We got Illinois at Houston. Houston playing in their home court, as this game will be in Houston, Texas. Illinois, they've been a very disciplined basketball team throughout the season. They've blown out their opponents two times, 2 games in a row. And then you got Houston, who have looked very impressive. They just obliterated Texas A&M after a cold start. This is going to be a very good game, and of course, Houston has the home court advantage, if you ask me. Um, but I think for this game, this is going to be a very, very good game, and this is going to be a must-watch game for sure. I'm gonna go with Houston though. I just think that they're the more proven team in the tournament. You got the home court advantage. They have a very good coach, so I'll go with Houston to win that. Um, and then up next we got the game involving the team that I picked to win the whole thing in Duke. Duke really like even though I picked them to win the whole thing, I mean they've kind of just been a little frustrating to watch the first 2 games. Going against St. John's, who won on a buzzer beater against Kansas, which was a very good game. And by the way, I don't know what Kansas was doing on defense there. I think number 40 on Kansas, he could have helped out and went for the block there on the last shot of the game on the layup. I don't know why he didn't do that. He could have gone for the block there, then the game would have gone to overtime. But St. John's pulled it out. I mean, Duke did handle TCU, but really, like, if you watch that game, the first half, they really struggled with TCU. Heck, they struggled in their first round matchup. So with Duke, they are getting one of their guards back, Caleb Foster, who could play in the Sweet 16. He hasn't played in like a couple of weeks. That'll be huge if they can get him back. I mean, you're trying to get the team together and ready. They got Patrick Manangba back, so that's good news for Duke. The thing with St. John's is obviously they're a good defensive team. They have size, but their half court offense can be challenged a bit, and Duke just goes through the motions if you ask me. But I am going to take Duke here. I mean, Duke, again, the more proven team. They're first in Pythagorean wins for a reason. They just figure out how to win games. And this will be a tough matchup. This will be a very good matchup. Patino, he's going to have his team ready. I'll say Duke in a close one, though. I think Duke, they can match their style of play. Their matchups can match up with St. John's. So I'll take Duke in that one. Probably in honestly, like a 68-64 type of game. It's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be, not for the weak at heart. Up next, we got Alabama and Michigan. This game is going to be played in Chicago. And by the way, the St. John's Duke game will be played in Washington, D.C. So back to the Alabama-Michigan game. I'm going to go with Michigan. Michigan has looked really good, in the first 2 games in the tournament. You look at Alabama, their starting guard is suspended. I don't know if he's going to play for smoking weed. And then they just got like a bunch of injuries and a bunch of players who got in trouble before the tournament. We don't know if they're going to play, but I'm going to take Michigan here. They've looked really good the first two games of the tournament. It seems like they can do no wrong. They got the size, they got the offense, they got the shooting. Whatever you need them to do, they can do it. It'll be interesting to see how they do going up against the top teams, but you got to give credit where it's due to Michigan. So next game up, we got a very good one. We got Michigan State versus UConn. Tom Izzo versus Dan Hurley. Both of those coaches, very defensive minded coaches. They're going to have their teams playing defense. They're going to have their teams ready to go. This is a very interesting game, but I think Michigan State, they're just better in the clutch, if you ask me. I trust Michigan State in this game. UConn, they've had some off shooting nights. Really, they're winning based on the players that they have that have won national championships, like Caravan, who's been there, done that. But that style of play won't last long, so I'll take Michigan State. And we got another good game here. We got Tennessee at Iowa State. I'm gonna take. Ooh, that's a very good game. Iowa State has looked good. Tennessee has looked good themselves. But Iowa State, I think their defense could be a little too much for Tennessee. And they've been the better team all season long. So I'll go with Iowa State to win that game. But yeah, it's gonna be a very good Sweet 16 right here. There's a lot of good games here. So we'll see how it goes. You got the Sweet 16, you got the Elite Eight. I'll probably be back here to recap, the Final Four and who I think is gonna win the championship. In March Madness, all it takes is one game. One game for one team to have an off shooting night, and for a team to have a hot shooting night. And I've seen that a lot of people, they've noticed that the chalk keeps winning. There isn't as many upsets. I don't know if I agree with that. There's been some upsets that's been happening. There's been some close games. At the end of the day, it's March Madness. It's basketball. Like just because an upset hasn't happened, it's gonna happen real soon. And we got a lot of good games here, so crazy things are yet to happen. But that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one.